Right, guys, here today. I'm joined by Rob Harris once again. A couple of weekends ago, Rob entered the Rhinos Classics 2023, which were a standard with his work. During that, he came third in the first category.
Yeah, over 40s.
Over
and then
40s.
took second in the under 80s, but it was a close second
Yeah.
by the looks of it, by the reports and stuff. So,
Yes.
yeah, not too bad. My qualifications for the British finals. Got some real good feedback from the show, from the judges. The only thing that let me down, and I knew it was on the day, was my tan. I'd left my spare tan at home. So that was my fault. Schoolboy error, but when you're there at the venue and you realise you left it all at home, there's not really much you can do other than just laugh about it because there's nothing you can do.
So what have you learned for next time, Rob?
Pack my bag and actually put it in the car.
But the thing is, it wasn't only his tan he forgot, was it?
You forgot resistance bands, my food, you name it. I kind of forgot it all. So I literally had a pot of squirty peanut butter, my pre-workout, luckily, as you see, and that was about it, really. I had nothing else.
So you made, like you said, a real schoolboy error. You know, they're the fundamentals you need on the show day.
After 18 years, you think I would make an error like that, but hey, no matter how many times I've done this, how many times I've done this rodeo, I can still mess up and forget things. But like I said, at the end of the day, it wasn't my physique that let me down; it was my tan and the judges' feedback. I mean, for the under 80s, I said it straight to you when I got it. Like, to get kind of a comparison to Branch Warren. Like, if you don't know who Branch Warren is, Google it. Like, this dude is just an absolute thick freak of muscle. So to me, to take that away was like, that was what I said to you that night. That's like what I needed this last couple of days, because not gonna lie, I was struggling. Like, I love prepping, and I'll be honest with you, the last prep, the Rhinos one, I wasn't feeling. Just, you have good preps and you have bad preps, and it wasn't clicking for me. Like, my mindset, it just wasn't there for some reason. Like, even the guys here said it just doesn't seem there. And I put a lot of pressure on myself, but this prep has been, I'm one of them, I love to suffer. Like, the more you suffer, the better you're going to look. And I like it because not everybody can do that. Like, the 2 hours cardio every morning, the reduced calories, doing the full hours of work, the shift, trying to maintain a home life and keep everybody happy. I love all that because not everybody can do that.
Yeah, because you follow the very old school traditional style of the bodybuilding. You know, if anyone from the newer generation tried it, I mean, one, their coaches won't let them because apparently they can still have a chocolate bar during it. But if you want to win, you've got to go that extra mile.
You have to suffer. You look at back in the days, and like all these people that I really love, feel free to Google them, because a lot of today's generation probably won't know them. You look at people like Dorian Yates, even Ronnie Coleman. You even go back to your Gaspari's, your Lee Labradas. It was all diet. They all suffered to get that grainy sort of look to their physiques. And I found now, as I've gotten older, I have more of a mature muscle look, and I like the way that that generation of bodybuilders competed, and the way they trained, their physiques, their lifestyle. Don't get me wrong, I like the modern stuff, but to me it is more like, wow, look at the size of those guys. Whereas you look at the 80s and 90s, they look like statues.
Yeah, like the Greek, Athens, standing tall in the Colosseum.
Yeah, you look at that, and that's chiseled, that's artwork.
Yeah.
And that to me is what I kind of wanted to bring down to the modern era now that I'm older. Like, when people go, you're very old school. No, I'm not old school. I'm just traditional.
Yeah, within it. Yeah.
This stuff works, and it's been around for years. That's why they were doing it. That's why, if you look at the physiques of that era as opposed to now, they're one end of the spectrum to the other. I like to look at that. I wow at what we got now, but I can say I don't really want to look like that, because physically, I can't be 250 pounds at 5 foot F all. I'd be tall. So those physiques I do admire, because to me they're more attainable for someone like me.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, like I say, we sat throughout the whole show, and I could tell the difference between who's had the older style coach, traditional coaching, or come from that traditional era to now, where obviously their coach is still letting them take in that water volume and so on. Like, don't get me wrong, you have got to go to that next level. But I feel like now, because of the new style, they're saying it doesn't matter as long as you've got size.
Yeah.
And that's what they're trying to play, aren't they?
Yeah, massively. And I think a lot of it is as well to do with like the foods and stuff now. Like we all have sugar-free this. We have these syrups, low calorie this, 0 calorie that. We didn't have them back in the day. You know, it's like saying there's 0 calories in it. There's something in there, you know, and it will eventually affect your physique. Some people can get away with it, but into a show, I take all those sauces out. Like literally, the only thing I use is lemon juice. That is it. I don't use ketchup. I don't use barbecue sauce because I don't want excess sodium or salt or anything that's underlined in anything into my system, especially those last 2 weeks, because it's crucial.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, no, I get you. So, as Rob already mentioned, he said he's brought some products with him, which he uses. Now, Rob, would you like to explain what some of these are to anyone who doesn't understand? Because you never know, they might decide this is appropriate for their training at some point.
I mean, these are sort of more my sort of health products. So from Permagains, a nootropic. Now, nootropics are good for opening up your mind, clarity, and just keeping you focused. It's a new thing that's come out. It's the same with like the mushroom powders and things like that. They just open up your mind and let you focus on what it is you're doing and just channel everything into that.
So it's like a non-stim pre-workout as such. Yeah. It's
like,
not like it's a pre-workout.
Yeah, so we've got the focus in that. Vitality, that is my multivitamin. I'm still big on taking multivitamins, especially when you're coming into a show and you're restricting your vitamins, your minerals, everything's now coming from food, but then your food's restricted. So I try to get in one of these as well, just to top that up.
So do you have one of them a day?
I'll take one a day, sometimes two, depending on like how close to the show I am and how my food dictates. Like when you cut a lot of meats out, you cut fish and certain things out, you miss a lot of the macronutrients, the fibers, the minerals and things like that. So it's good just to keep them in from an external source, like a good multivitamin.
Yeah.
Next on the list, I've got a joint formula. I do tend to use that because I ain't a young boy anymore. The boy is nearly 42. So I've got aches and pains from training since the age I was 12. So I want to be in this for the long haul and the longevity. I want to be there when my little one gets older and has a family of her own. I want to be there. So I'm like granddad running around the field and stuff like that. That's not, you know, aches and pains and moaning. So I do try and keep myself protective of one of those.
All right, good question. Do you feel like a lot of people neglect this supplement more than any others?
Yeah, massively. Like you got to think all that pounding on your body, especially when you're in your gym, training with weights, even if you're running and things like that, there's a lot of pain on the joints and a lot of wear and tear. Things like this are going to just help sustain that, give you that longevity and actually benefit you while you're training.
Yeah, 100%, 100%.
And then at the other end, I've got my pre-workouts. Now, I'm not a massive stim junkie. Like beta-alanine, I don't like that effect where you take it and you literally want to peel your skin off. It's like you've got pins and needles all over you. I'm not into that. So I tend to use more of a pump product. So I've got Rampage, that is just all pump. So basically it just increases blood flow to the muscle. So the best part of training, most people find, is that pump.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what happens when you get that pump. You're tearing the muscle fibers down. When you're tearing them down, when they rebuild and reform, they grow back that little bit thicker because they want to be able to endure what you do again. That's why every time you break the muscle down and you rest and they regrow, they grow back that little bit thicker. And that's in time how you grow that dense muscle.
Hey, strawberry and lime.
Yeah, that's such a good flavour.
That's proper like summer sort of flavour. I mean, Rob, we're getting into winter. I think you need to get the ice blue on it.
Like black cherry. But yeah, that's good. And then this one, the same sort of thing again. It's just got a different selection of products in there, but they all have citrulline and that one as well, mango. Oh my God. Yes, very fruity. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, because I mean, it's seeming to become that way a lot with products now. It's having that fruity texture.
Yeah, I mean, especially you look at proteins and things like that now. Like when Isolate first come out, it was your chocolate, strawberry, vanilla.
Yeah,
the basics.
There's nothing wrong with vanilla.
Mate.
Anyone says chocolate's better, get out. What are you, 12? It's all about vanilla nowadays.
To be fair, vanilla's more versatile. You can add things to it. Yes,
see?
I like vanilla as well. But that's with the flavours back then.
Yeah.
When you look at now things like your Clearway, you've got all your fruit flavours.
Yes,
so they're more designed as a refreshing after workout drink.
Yeah. So it kind of becomes like a hydration sort of drink.
Yeah, so ideally in the summertime, you could have your training session, go home, 2 scoops of your, I don't know, your peach blast, ISO whey in a blender with some ice cubes. There you go, you got a nice fruity drink.
Yeah.
Whereas as the bog standards was your chocolate milkshake after training. Some people don't react well with dairy. That's why they brought out the isolates.
Yeah.
Because it's, you know as well, like if you've got a sensitive digestive system, IBS or anything like that, and you're taking dairy, that's going to aggravate the hell out of it. So to get that protein in, it's hard to maintain it through meals. So isolate is a good go-to. That's a little tip. If you suffer with dairy issues or digestive issues, try and isolate protein. Very low calorie, no carb, not derived from dairy. See how that goes.
Yeah, because you brought up about, I with my body in a way, it reacts response to dairy. Even with like the traditional flavors, like you think, vanilla, strawberry, chocolate, they belong with milk. No, I will have mine with water, because with the way my gut is, have IBS, it does flare me right up, doesn't it? It's very rare I'll have it with milk.
Yeah.
I mean, probably the last time I had it with milk is when I actually went to Morrison's to go get one, and that was probably about 2-3 weeks ago. But before that, I probably hadn't had it with milk in nearly a year and a bit, year and more probably. For me, it feels smoother. I know people are like, oh, water, but for me, I prefer it. It's not as heavy on the stomach. You don't feel, bloated. And I can imagine like even people who haven't got IBS issues, if they actually thought about the way their body responds to certain foods, I think they would sit there and realise this is heavy. You shouldn't be training and then going away having something, essentially a drink, and you're feeling heavy as. You know what I mean?
And the thing is with that as well, what people don't understand is when your post-workout shake is designed to get straight to that muscle, to tide you over till you get your meal. So what people do is they make the mistake of mixing it with milk. Now what that does is that's going to slow down the release of protein. So therefore, you're better to have it with water because you want that instant uptake within 30 minutes. That needs to be into the muscle. You have it with dairy, that then slows down, so it becomes an hour to 2 hours. So the ideal scenario would be to have it with water, then 45 minutes to an hour later, have a protein and carb-rich meal and do it that way.
So I've got a question for you. You've just spoken about roughly when to have it, but this is a question I get a lot as a PT. Obviously, it's subjective to the individual. Yeah. Whereabouts would you put your protein shake ideally? Obviously, anabolic window. We've heard that term a lot, especially in the gym. Even like new gym goers, we've heard it from. Where would you say is the perfect or ideal place to put your protein shake after your workout?
To be fair, to me, there's only 3 beneficial times to have a protein shake. Straight after training, before bed, or first thing in the morning. Obviously, because you're breaking that fast, so you want to kind of protect the muscle. But what I would tend to do is first thing in the morning, have BCAAs, branched chain amino acids, or EAAs, essential amino acids. Take that in because that's basically, it's like getting a bottle of cordial and not diluting it. That is concentrated. So your amino acids are your concentrated building blocks of protein. So take that the minute you get up in the morning. If you're going to do your cardio, then do your cardio, then have your breakfast because then you've fed and protected that muscle. Obviously, post-workout, get the whey protein shake in, quick release. Whey protein or isolate. Protein shake before bed, go with a casein protein, slow release, 6 to 8 hours. If you don't want to buy a casein, which I totally understand because sometimes whey protein is cheaper, have it with milk then. Again, you'll get a casein blend then, it just slows down the release of it.
So there you go. There's your answer. Rob has really nailed the head there. But yeah, like I was saying, it's just because, like I say, you get that question. Well, I definitely get that question a lot, and you probably have over the years as well. And it is one of them. It does come down a bit of preference, but at the same time, there is a structure at the same time. There is logic behind that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And people rely too much on protein shakes. If you say, right, I'm going to eat 6 meals a day, they'll eat 2 meals and the rest are shakes. It doesn't work that way. The body needs food. The most anabolic thing you can put in your body is food. Your body's going to respond to that. You look at your diet. That's the quickest way you can change your physique is by your calorie content. So you could take 2 people, give them the same training program, the same cardio program, but give them 2 different diets. That would determine their physique, not their training, their diet.
Best way to look at it is, you get the people who do a dirty bulk, and a clean bulk,
Yeah.
you know, you can see a massive difference. I mean, the dirty bulker, they retain a lot more water because of the rubbish they're putting in their body. And as well, they have a very lumpy sort of physique. Whilst clean bulk, their skin tends to keep a bit tight.
Yes.
Yeah, there's a bit of inflation, but nowhere near as aggressive.
The normal inflation is because of the size of the food portions, not the actual food they're eating. To me, when you dirty bulk, you're not building muscle tissue. When you clean bulk, you're going to build a better percentage of clean muscle tissue that you're going to stay when you come off that diet.
Yeah.
Why dirty bulk and put an extra 20 pound on just to lose, say, 18 of that?
Yeah.
Well, you've kept a bare amount. Why don't you clean bulk for £12 and out of that £12, keep maybe 4?
Yeah. Yeah. It is a very hard game to play, but when you know the right things, you've done the right research, you know how to go about it.
It's research, and everything we're talking about here it's kind of like, don't take it as gospel because it's got to work with what you do. This is things that I've found and Kieran's found over the years that work for us. You have to find your own formula, find what works for you, the foods that work for you, the training styles, the plans, everything like that. Everything is very individual specific.
Yeah, and that's the most important, is find your way of going about it. Don't go, because Sam Sulik is having chocolate milk. And you know, that works for him. You know, plus all the other stuff he does. You know, us, I mean, we have our own ways. You know, I've done a clean bulk. When was the last time I did? That was last year before I did my back. You know, all I was pretty much having was chicken, mince, eggs, rice, green beans, broccoli. No, I didn't even have rice. I had potatoes and pasta. Yeah. That was it. You know, and that's all I ate for probably about 7 months, roughly. You know, a bit of Greek yogurt every now and then. You know, and that worked for me and my body. But if, say, someone else wanted to try and follow that, it wouldn't work. It was very rare percentage, or a very rare chance it wouldn't it? You know what I mean?
I mean, that would not work for me.
Yeah.
But then again, the insane stuff I do, and I've done the last 4 weeks to get ready for this show, I would not recommend for anybody to do it and anybody to do it. And it is like the chairs party and the food that I was eating. But again, it's just, you find what works for you and you just stick with that formula, you just tweak it.
Yeah.
You know, you can't follow what everyone else does. You have to find what works for you. Take ideas from it, but then tweak it to your body and your digestive system, your needs, your goals.
It's like the chicken and rice, isn't it? We always hear, I started the gym. I'm on chicken and rice now.
I could think of nothing worse than just eating that 6 times a day. I mean, I'm disciplined, but if someone put that in my face 6 times a day, I'd probably, I'd call it a day. It's right. It doesn't have to be boring. Find foods and herbs, spices, things like that you can add minimal amount of calories to your meal, but just gives it more flavour.
Yeah, 100%. But anyway, let's go back to this right here. So Rob got his British finals invite, which he's absolutely astounded with. I mean, he's competing this Sunday. It will be the 29th of October in Leicester. So Leicester this time. So there's going to be a lot of competitors there for this one, aren't there? Because it's basically like the end result. You know what I mean? It's the finals.
This is the finals for them.
So how have you prepared, or how are you feeling going into this one? Because obviously you said earlier, the last one you wasn't 100%.
No.
So how are you feeling towards this?
This one, literally, I feel I couldn't physically do any more.
Okay.
I've done everything I can, and on the day, what will be, will be. My goal was, after the Rhino show, was now to just literally do everything I physically can. So at the end of the day, I know when I get on stage, it's now up to the judges. I've done my part. I've done everything I could. I didn't miss a meal. Didn't miss a cardio session. I didn't miss an early morning. I did it all. I did everything I needed to. So what will be on the day, and that's how I look at it. That's how I'm going in. This, to me, whatever happens at that show, I mean, I wasn't even planning on coming back, let alone going to finals in my first year coming back. So whatever result I get, I will be happy with. Obviously, I want to win. Yeah, we all do. We don't go in there to be second best. But it's one of them. I won't put the pressure on myself. I know what I want to achieve on that day. We've already said, I've said to you what I want to do and how I see it playing out if it goes the way I want. it's now I've just got 48 hours to make it happen. It's now up to me to make it happen.
Yeah, it's a now or never situation, essentially.
It's all or nothing. These next 48 hours are the most crucial. I know, getting up this morning, looking in the mirror, I'm drier, harder, tighter, and leaner than when I stepped on stage. Yeah.
When he says harder and tighter, he means his muscles.
Yeah.
Can we just get? I know he said he this morning.
Yeah, because literally this close to the show, nah.
There you go, everyone. Just in case you wanted to know,
or even if you didn't, you know now.
Yeah. So, all the best for this Sunday, Rob.
Thank you.
We're all rooting for you. You know, please drop your goodwill messages below.
Yeah, please do, because it does actually mean a lot. Like all the nice comments and stuff, I do read them and I do try and like or even comment back, because it means a lot that some people take the time out of their day just to say, well done, or you look good, you've got this. You know, I do really appreciate it, because you don't have to do that. You don't have to take that time to send that message. So if anybody does that and for some reason I don't get back, I just want to say right now, thank you so much, because it does mean the world to me.
So with that being said, thank you, Rob, once again
for as always.
Coming to today's interview.
Yeah, thank you for having me here.
You're welcome. You know, the next video will probably be me going to Leicester, spectating Rob, recording how he gets on, giving you a good update. There will be another video. But I would like to say, if there's anyone you would like to see on this podcast, you know, who we could probably get, you never know, gains enough traction, we could get the big stars. But if you'd like, comment down below. Or if there is a topic you would like us to cover. I mean, today we briefly went on to the nutrition side of things and we looked into some of these supplements. But if there's something specific you would like us to go through, please let us know below, or drop me a message on Instagram with Kieran James _PT.
And what we could do is questions. Send your questions and we'll answer your questions.
Questions.
Yeah.
Clean ones though.
Yeah.
Just in case, you know, you think, I'm going to ask this. No, sensible. To fitness, please. Yeah. The same. But anyway, thank you, everyone. Thank you for watching.